Hello, my name is Margot, and I'm currently a master's student in educational leadership at Northern Arizona University. Additionally, I work in the Office of Admissions at the University of Arizona as a coordinator of recruitment events and visitor services. In this role, one of my specialties is transfer student recruitment. There has been increased pressure to recruit transfer students due to the declining traditional student population, which has left many four-year institutions scrounging for students. Community college students may be the answer to help offset dropping enrollment numbers. Unfortunately, there is a large gap between potential transfer students and students who successfully transfer. First, I think it's important to provide an idea of how many undergraduate students there are in the United States. In fall of 2015, there were 17.4 million undergraduates enrolled in higher education institutions. Of those, almost 38%, or around 6.6 million students, were enrolled in two-year institutions or community colleges. Of those 6.6 million community college students, about 80% indicate that they intend to transfer to a four-year institution, but only 25% actually transfer within 6 years, and only 17% graduate within 6 years. There are several different potential causes for this. The first is the confusion about articulation agreements, which often change quickly and are rarely communicated to community college students. This type of confusion could cause students to become discouraged and decide not to transfer. It may also prolong their community college experience because they are unsure of when to transfer. A second potential cause is the economic factor. Many transfer students attend community college due to the lower tuition rates and may not be able to afford to attend a university. This is especially true when tuition rates are rising each year. Additionally, many community college students work more than one job, which may hinder them from attending a four-year institution. Mooring and Mooring actually did a study where they found that students who worked more than one job were less likely to transfer. The third potential cause, which I would like to focus on now, is unprepared students. The issue of underprepared students is clear in Arizona, where less than half of graduating high school seniors meet the minimum requirements to be admitted into one of the three state universities. Minority students are particularly likely to be affected. As you can see, only 36.6% of African American, 33.6% of American Indian, 37.3% of Pacific Islander, and 34.1% of Hispanic graduating high school seniors in Arizona meet the requirements to attend one of the three state universities. This means that over half of the graduating high school seniors in Arizona have to attend a community college if they plan to continue their education. Additionally, since these students were deemed unready for college by not meeting the Arizona Board of Regents requirements necessary to be admitted into one of the three state public universities, these students are likely to test into remedial courses. Remediation is extremely common in Arizona. This is when students take developmental courses in order to prepare themselves for college-level courses. These developmental courses often exist in order to combat the impact of inadequate high school educations. Students who take remedial courses are less likely to transfer to a four-year institution. Of the students who attended to transfer, 44% of the students who did not take remedial courses actually did transfer, and about 35% of students who took remedial courses transferred. So as you can see, many high school students are unprepared for college coursework, but remedial courses are not enough to bump those underprepared students up to college level and usher them into the transfer process. In an attempt to usher their students into the transfer process and ultimately increase transfer rates, states and institutions have tried various techniques. The three I'm going to focus on are statewide articulation agreements, general education certificates, and learning communities. The first technique, statewide articulation agreements, is the most frequently used. Statewide articulation agreements became a trend after 1971 when Florida established the first statewide formal articulation agreement. Since then, many states have created formal agreements, including Arizona. In fact, only 4 states out of the 50 states of America do not have any form of statewide articulation agreement. However, it is unclear whether articulation agreements are effective or not. On one hand, despite the creation of articulation agreements, the transfer rate has not improved. In fact, low transfer rates have been consistent throughout the history of the community college. In the 1920s, only 25 to 35% of students at community colleges transferred to a 4-year institution. Nearly 100 years later, estimates still show that between 25% and 33% of community college students transfer to 4-year institutions. On the other hand, students who completed general education certificates, which is a specific type of articulation agreement, are actually more likely to transfer. For example, the California General Education Certificate is called the IGETC, which stands for the Intersegmental General Education Transfer Curriculum. Students who take more classes and pass more classes within the IGETC are more likely to transfer. In fact, students who transferred out of a California community college had, on average, 3 more classes within the IGETC curriculum and passed 18% more of their classes. Arizona also has a general education certificate. It is called the Arizona General Education Curriculum, or the AGEC. It requires students to complete 35 to 38 credits in English, math, science, social science, humanities, and fine arts. When completed, the AGEC transfers as a block of general education courses to any of the 3 state institutions. Typically, this will take care of any general education requirements this student would need in order to complete their bachelor's degree. Additionally, students who complete an AGEC before transferring are more likely to successfully complete a bachelor's degree. The third and final technique that I would like to touch on are learning communities. Barnes and Pyland found that students who were placed within a cohort and took the entire sequence of remedial English classes together had a higher retention rate than their peers. Another study done by Weiss, Vischer, and Weissman found that students in learning communities earned more credit on average in the targeted subject area, which was typically English or math, than their peers who did not participate in a learning community. This is important because the higher number of credits is also associated with a higher likelihood to transfer to a 4-year institution. In one case, Metropolitan Community College actually saw an increase of 11% in their course success rate over just 2 academic years when they began placing their students in learning communities. Since both learning communities and general education certificates have already shown small gains on their own, a program which combined learning communities and educating students about general education certificates may be able to further improve the transfer rate. I propose that the Arizona Board of Regents and Arizona Community Colleges reorganize remedial coursework in such a way that students are placed into cohorts or learning communities. Throughout the learning community experience, the community college would then encourage students to complete a general education certificate. One way of doing this would be to place students who test into a remedial course into a block of courses that are all AGEC courses, except for that one remedial course. Another possibility is to have academic advisors visit developmental classes throughout the semester and go over the requirements and the benefits of completing an AJAC. By placing students in cohorts or learning communities and encouraging them to complete the AJAC, Arizona community colleges are likely to increase their transfer out rates, but more importantly, they would also be improving the educational attainment rates of the residents of Arizona.